I can't breathe. 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 Matter. 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 Black lives 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 matter.
They gotta call you back. No way it's gonna work out.
You have a choice.
No way you guys are going to die.
History's gonna remember.
We know it.
Stop everything.
Here's the quick
Situation.
they're forcing you to do this.
You all have a choice. History's gonna remember the choice you made.
All right, folks, welcome back to those of you that were with us with the last broadcast. Our apologies, we had some technical issues and we had to restart again, just like we have in the past. We'll be restarting broadcasts as we lose connection. We're here close to the burned police station and several... All right, folks, again, we had another technical interruption, but bear with us. If the broadcast ever becomes compromised, just remember that we will come back up. Please keep paying attention to the Facebook page. Thank you.
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
I get no sleep. Can you sleep? No. Do you think they can sleep? Fuck you. Shit.
This is about the right time to take the mustache.
Just look at the after. Get arrested. I guess the
Say something. What? What do you have to say? I'm up there. Say something, my friend. Listen. Let's go. No justice. No peace. Fuck the police.
fucking with them.
I hope you feel uncomfortable. I hope you're not enjoying your job right now. I hope you're not stay on the camera. Just don't go fucking you justice for yourself.
Hey, what's up? How many years have you been doing this? 7 years? 7 years of defending racism and imperialism? You pull on my calculator, see how many days that is? It's 7 times 365. That's 2,555 days you've been on the wrong side of the
All right, guys, as you can see, we are just maybe a quarter mile away from the burned precinct building, the burned 3rd precinct building that was overrun the other night. National Guardsmen are here holding a line, preventing protesters from reaching that area where they were demonstrating the other night. We've got several individuals like this one right in front of me, attempting to interact with law enforcement.
put on a uniform to stand
So when someone actually comes here and does want to take over this country, and he's the guy that's going to be the one that stops it, are you still going to be saying?
We might be making that.
Yeah, I mean, fuck this country. Why?
Okay, so when,
As you can see, this cameraman has confronted a protester who was accosting National Guard.
then what are you going to say to me?
Okay, what point are you trying to make?
Him abusing this poor guy for just standing there.
No,
standing
he
there.
throws money over
No, no, no.
fucking world. You got no point to make here. Money over
What he just
money over world over here. Where's my
National Guard service. What does National Guard service have to do? What he just called him?
A small verbal skirmish has broken out here between protesters, another member of the media, and some of the guardsmen who are debating the role of police in society.
Yes, it does. America's a racist country. He's standing up for the
fucking man
American
died
government.
for 7 minutes. He's still on his neck.
I'm here and I'm showing
No, you're here to make a paycheck. Get the fuck out of here. That's all bad.
America is a racist
Exactly. Get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit. You making money just like him. That makes you a fucking racist too. Who do you work for?
How do they keep a straight face?
Fucking asshole.
When you choose money over fucking world, that fucking makes you racist. When you're okay with a fucking black man dying on the street like a fucking dog, that fucking makes you a racist. That's what he was trying to say.
Oh, I'm just live streaming.
I don't care.
All right.
Don't put that shit on my face. Bro, get it away.
Protester attempted to grab my phone there, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to keep standing right here where we're standing.
This is our fucking city. We know what the Minneapolis Police Department is capable of. We've lived here for fucking 20 years. 20 fucking years we have to deal with it. Enough is fucking enough.
I don't know how these guys do it. Like, how do they keep a straight face?
She was running. You're on that side, you're fucking racist.
Dumbass over here.
I would start dying. Are you watching? They've been staring at each other for the last 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy in the black with the plaid on his sleeve has been standing there for at least 10 minutes. All right, guys, so we're hearing murmurs through the crowd that tear gas is going to be deployed at 8 to disperse the crowd as curfew approaches. As you can see, the mere threat of tear gas has caused some demonstrators to disperse. I smell some smoke in the air, but I'm not sure if that's coming from burned businesses or...
Oh yeah, that's burned business.
That's burned businesses?
Yeah.
All right.
Hell no! That's how we get away! Okay? Georgia boy!
Shit, they're working a mask for us.
All right, guys, so it looks like National Guardsmen are applying their gas masks, getting ready to disperse the crowd at 8 o'clock. So we're going to stay here and try to keep running the live feed. I was going to bring my mask today, but I don't know, I didn't get around to it. So looks like we're going to get tear gas in a second. The guardsmen, again, are suiting up with gas masks in preparation to disperse chemical agents to enforce the curfew.
Look, if we ain't got no gas mask, any of that, and they come in with
All right, guys, it looks like a situation's about to come to a head here.
this side though.
All right, guys, again, we're seeing National Guardsmen suiting up with masks, getting ready to disperse the crowd, presumably using a chemical agent. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Looks like National Guardsmen are going to attempt to disperse the crowd using chemical agents. The police line is being reinforced. Everybody's putting on their gas masks. They're withdrawing the Humvees.
They want to shoot us.
All right. Looks like
That's what they want to do.
things are going to become fairly dramatic here in the next few moments, folks. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, folks. Yep, it does look like we're going to be enforcing a curfew very, very soon. All right, I'm going to try to reconnect with some of the other reporters here before things get too gnarly.
Choking his neck, you would have not done shit.
Yeah. Looks like the protesters are withdrawing at the mere threat of tear gas. Someone could drop in chat what time it is. I'm not sure what time it is, but I know we're rapidly approaching 8 o'clock when the city of Minneapolis has decided that we'll enforce a curfew.
I'm willing to die tonight so another black man don't die.
Shit, look at that motherfucker.
This is very close to the 3rd precinct. You can actually smell the smoke from the buildings that were burned in the precinct the other night. 3rd precinct is a little bit to our, well, I don't know which direction, but it's down that way.
She's scared. They already got the play. Everybody else don't. He's scared.
Alrighty.
I'm good.
Alrighty, guys. Looks like minutes. But as we've mentioned, the guardsmen have geared up. The police line has been reinforced. We see a member of the police department with zip cuffs right over there, presumably to arrest those who refuse to retreat. Guys, we're going to come right back to this line, but I want to reconnect with some other reporters here. Oh, there you are. Never mind. We're going to stay right here. Where's Julio?
I don't know.
All right.
Wait until 8 o'clock.
Oh, we just heard a loud bang from behind us. We just heard another large bang from behind us. It looks like it's drawing some attention. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there was 2 loud bangs about 2 or 3 blocks that direction. Again, we still have about 15 minutes until tear gas is deployed to enforce the curfew. I am so mad at this stuff. I Northfield. We have those same exact masks.
I'll take it over for you.
Just for 2 minutes while I'm speaking. And give me another for understanding. I take it really seriously. I do. Is that an accent? Yes, Australia. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Killing each other.
No, you can't bump it. Like, this one.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
Down there.
No peace! What is it? No peace!
Popped the tear gas.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
This is a couple hundred yards away from the 3rd precinct that was burned last night. As you can see, we've got about 200-300 protesters facing off with National Guardsmen who recently equipped themselves with tear gas protective equipment, presumably in preparation to enforce the lockdown order that goes into effect in about 10 minutes. So again, folks, in about 10 minutes, we hear more. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the Minnesota State Patrol is giving an official announcement that says that we are in violation of lawful assembly. All right, guys, that loudspeaker is saying the Minnesota State task shoot will prevent it. Oh, as you can see, guys, down the street, we've got tear gas that's been deployed. The Minnesota State Patrol is told, oh, somebody just threw a water bottle at that cop right there. The police officers are backing up as protesters begin to throw water bottles. But as you can tell, that loudspeaker is telling us that we will be in violation of the law in another few minutes. It seems like these protesters are preparing to... Oh, someone just popped a smoke grenade. No, a marker. Oh, that lady just got hit with a paint marker. Bottles are whizzing over my head here. Guys, as you can tell, we got some protesters throwing stuff, throwing water bottles at the cops. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we've been ordered to disperse. It seems like they're going to try to enforce the order. I don't know how much longer. I want to stand right here. I'm a little too high up. That guy just threw a bottle. So far, we're just seeing water bottles thrown at police, no rocks, nothing like that. Oh, look at that, guys. They're using paint markers to hit people that are throwing stuff. That is really wild. Guys. They're shooting the main agitators with paint guns to mark them for arrest. This is a tactic I've heard that law enforcement will use in situations like this. So police and protesters are exchanging water bottles and markers, respectively. The police say that in just a few minutes they're going to start shooting tear gas, or they say they're going to enforce the quarantine order or the stay-at-home order, which will presumably involve the deployment of tear gas. This is really insane, folks. Okay, we can hear tear gas being popped down the street on the other side of this line here. Stay tuned, folks. I might stop narrating, but we will not stop broadcasting. I respect what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Can I ask who you're with, or you don't want to?
I'm from Australia.
Oh, nice. They shot Julio? Oh, okay. Okay, it looks like we're dispersing tear gas now. Tear gas is coming down the street.
I don't understand why they're doing it. We have 15 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, tear gas is coming down the street. This is a riot. We have now approached. Wow.
They don't care if he's a journalist. They shot him right in the chest.
With one of those green markers?
Yes.
Guys, so...
They got him with a bullet, so we got to stay on
A rubber bullet?
He got hit. He got hit getting help. They had to drag him over the fence. So
Where is he? I'm hearing that one of our fellow journalists has been hit with a rubber bullet. A guy named Julio. He works for Town Hall. He's a friend of mine. Again, one of our fellow journalists has been struck with a rubber bullet or some other form of non-lethal ordnance in the chest. Oh, where is he? There he is. You want to talk to the live stream or not?
What? About what? What are we talking about?
What just happened to you?
Yeah, I just got shot.
Okay, we're here with, introduce yourself?
Julio Rosas, Town Hall Media.
All right, and what just happened to you?
I got shot. I'm assuming a rubber bullet or something. It wasn't a pepper ball.
It was not a paint marker either.
No, clearly not.
How'd that feel? Are you feeling okay?
How did it feel?
Yeah, probably not too good.
I've been better.
All right. So again, guys,
I told him not to shoot me too.
the police right there are firing non-lethal ordnance into the crowd in an attempt to force compliance with the stay-at-home order. We're hearing another announcement now. That was a larger bang we just heard.
Alright, well, I should have done this from the beginning.
Oh shit, me too. Again, guys, just moments ago, a journalist was struck with non-lethal ordnance of some sort.
You want to get in it?
Yeah. All right, guys, so I'm wearing my backpack on the front because another journalist was struck with non-lethal ordnance as police attempt to enforce compliance with the stay-at-home order that goes into effect at 8 o'clock. I don't know if it's yet 8 o'clock or not, but protesters have been throwing water bottles at police who have returned. They're throwing rubber bullets and tear gas into the crowd. This is a wild situation we got going here, folks.
They want to see this. They want to see
Oh wow, guys! So it looks like the protesters are progressing past where the police were previously holding line.
Oh, there's good. Good Nick.
got it. Okay, here you go.
All right, guys, so the police say they're going to start arresting protesters very soon. They've been firing non-lethal ordnance at the crowd in an attempt to enforce the quarantine order. I'm going to keep an eye on my fellow journalists right over here. We are right on the front line, you guys. We have hundreds of protesters surging against a police line that appears to be having difficulty holding their position. We're hearing some bangs from the other side of the block. Wow, that was, I don't know what that was, ladies and gentlemen. That was a louder boom than we've heard before.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
I should have brought my fucking gas mask.
Oh my gosh.
Don't shoot!
This is Julio. He's been struck with some sort of...
That hurts. I think it's a rubber bullet.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah. You got hit.
Julio Rosas, a journalist with Town Hall, was struck with a rubber bullet. He's going to show us the injury he just incurred from a rubber bullet. Oh, tear gas has now been fired right into the middle of the crowd. I'm going to push up just a little bit, but not too far. We don't want to get arrested, and I would rather not get hit with a rubber bullet like Julio there, who we just saw moments ago was struck with non-lethal ordnance as police officers attempt to enforce the stay-at-home order. It goes into effect at 8 p.m. today. All right, guys, we're going to get right into the thick of it. You know, I almost brought a gas mask. I have a gas mask, but I didn't want to drive out on the way to go get it. So now we're going to feel the effects of some tear gas. Looks like protesters are constructing a barricade. Yeah, protesters are definitely constructing a barricade as they attempt to face off with police officers. We're just going to keep following this story, guys. We're now amidst the ruins of burned buildings as officers disperse tear gas and other ordnance. Wow, okay, guys. So we're starting to feel the effects of the tear gas a little bit. Getting a little bit harder to breathe. But we're going to stay with the story. Oh, okay, guys. So, yeah, now my eyes are really feeling the effects of that gas. The air is spicy. The only way I can describe it is that the air has become spicy very quickly. It feels like, it feels like I've got chili peppers in my mouth, but it's my eyes. This is the third time I've been tear gas covering this story. Just nuts. This guy's applying milk to his eyes to quell the effects of tear gas.
Fucking A! Fuck Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
All right, guys, we're gonna stop narrating because I got too much tear gas in my mouth, but we're gonna stay with the story.
George Floyd!
Ouch. Ouch. Again, guys, the cops have put tear gas into the crowd to attempt to force them to go home. Getting out my milk. And we're just gonna deal with this, I guess. Gosh, you know, I've said it a bunch, but I have a gas mask. I just didn't bring it. So, all right, here's the situation. Moments ago, 8 o'clock rolled around, and the police decided they're going to enforce the go-home order that takes effect at 8 p.m. They fired a volley of tear gas into the crowd. Oh, I've been corrected. It's not even 8 p.m. yet, and law enforcement has already dispersed tear gas into the crowd.
Things are escalating.
Things are escalating very quickly. What's that? All right, we hear that there's been a shooting. There's been a shooting on 3615 Queen Avenue. Again, guys, moments ago we saw Julio, a journalist from Town Hall, got struck with a rubber bullet in the chest. Other journalists have begun to equip themselves with looks like soft armor and gas masks as protesters refuse to disperse. I'm going to try to get out in front of the protest line and give you a shot looking back at just how many people are here tonight and how many people have gas masks and other protective equipment to guard themselves against the effect of tear gas. So the original volley of tear gas sounds like it's gone. We're not feeling any more of that spice in the air, but protesters are beginning to progress forwards now. We're going towards the 3rd precinct, which was burned last night, and towards the police line amidst the burned wreckage of 2 days of rioting. As you can see, protesters are also constructing a barricade between themselves and the police, taking up shields scavenged from the burned buildings that were torched last night and the night before.
If worst comes to worst.
Hey, what they're going to do is they're probably going to come in on this street and close it back off and trap people who are, inside the zone. So I don't know how much further we want to go because they're just going to wrap around right behind us and arrest people that are violating the order. All right, guys, so this is the devastation from last night. And the violence here in Minneapolis really hit its crescendo. We got, last time I checked, it was over 235 businesses. Oh, what is that you have there?
It's tear gas.
This looks like protesters found a canister of tear gas lying on the ground that was dispersed moments ago to attempt to enforce compliance with the go-home order that goes into effect right about now. We're going to take a look at the burned wreckage where protesters are taking selfies, posing. Look at this, you guys, the brick facade. I'm walking on the rubble of what used to be, looks like some sort of restaurant that was burned, collapsed in on itself, and has now been reduced to nothing more than a pile of junk. It's just incredible, folks. These are the images that the mainstream media hesitates to show you here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So protesters are getting more and more brazen as the police withdraw. Protesters are pushing up to take that ground. We have smashed storefronts. Anybody could be in there. Look at that. The front of the building is just gone. Here's a whole, it looks like it was a 4-story structure reduced to rubble after fire ate away the supports and the brick collapsed. Again, guys, we have somebody watching the police scanner that tells us there's been a shooting a distance away from here. But nonetheless, folks, the violence is escalating. Right, guys, the police have withdrawn several blocks now after dispersing tear gas. The protesters have continued to take the ground that law enforcement is giving them. Look at that. Look at this, you guys. To our left, we have a burned building, and for 2 blocks in that direction, buildings are reduced to rubble. That is simply astounding, guys. This is a hellscape out here in Minneapolis. Look at this. Okay. So we're coming up on the 3rd precinct that is right there. That is what protesters overran last night, the 3rd precinct of police department or police station. Over here is the auto zone, the famous auto zone that's received so much coverage since it was burned by protesters in previous riots. Again, in front of us, that is a police precinct building, guys. That is a police department here in Minneapolis. It has been torched. I'm going to keep pace with some of the other media outlets. Looks like we got another round of tear gas incoming, folks. We are right here next to the burned out police precinct. Right over there is the looted target. Right behind me is the auto zone.
Hey, hold the line, hold the line. Hey, hold the line, y'all. Hold the line, y'all. Back up a little bit, back up a little bit, back up a little bit. Back up a little bit, throw it back, throw it back. Back up a little bit. Come back, come back, come back. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
We have a priest here who's praying for peace.
Yeah, I'm a pastor from New York City. My name is Pastor William Devlin. I'm here with a team of pastors, and we're just out here praying for the peace, praying for justice, praying that no one is going to get hurt, praying that everybody's going to be okay. So I'm just I'm Pastor William Devlin.
Pastor from New York City. Again, guys, protesters are constructing barricades made from junk pillaged from burned buildings. The police are laying down a line of tear gas to prevent them from taking more ground. Now again, if you were watching this broadcast 2 nights ago, you'll remember that this used to be an auto zone. Right over there used to be a 6-story building, and that used to be a functional Target store, and this used to be the 3rd precinct. All of these buildings have been reduced to a burned husk after days of riots. Protesters continue to take ground given by police, who have fired tear gas into the crowd in an attempt to force compliance with the stay-at-home order. All right. It's a broadcast box. Okay, that was either a shot or a flashbang deployed just down the street from us. I'm gonna cross a little fence here to where it seems safer. Guys, we have maybe over 500, but I think less than 1,000 protesters here defying the curfew as police deploy non-lethal ordnance. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the police are ordering people to go home. Oh, we got another round of tear gas coming in, folks. Protesters are scattering. I'm not sure if that smoke is an irritant or not, but I don't really care to find out. Right now, the wind is blowing it perpendicular to the police line. All right, we got another tear gas canister that just came in. I saw it hit the leaves of the tree. I don't know where it landed. Oh, there's where it landed. Landed about 50 yards back into the line of protesters. So again, guys, we're here outside the burned 3rd Precinct Police Station. We have a chopper circling overhead. We have maybe 1,000 protesters rallying against law enforcement officers who are dispersing non-lethal ordnance. Behind me here is what used to be a 6-story building. It has since been reduced to ash after several nights of violence. All right, guys, so again, I'm going to keep my narration to the minimum because there's small amounts of tear gas in the air and it's sort of irritating to try to talk with that spice. Looks like we got some protesters interfering with a news broadcast. Again, there's some protesters interfering with a news broadcast here. There's a Escalade driving through the crowd. Unusual. We started several blocks that direction with a smaller crowd. Police decided to enforce the curfew. Oh, another tear gas projectile just entered the crowd here. I don't know where it landed. But police are enforcing the orders to leave the streets and to stay at home. But protesters are not abiding by that order. Looks like we have buses. Oh, very interesting, folks. I've heard that those buses you see moving behind the police line will be used to transport arrested individuals. There we go. That's a tear gas coming into the crowd. People are running. People are running. Oh, We got a whole volley of tear gas coming in now. Tear gas, flashbangs, spiraling towards the crowd in an array of sparks. That's a cloud of very noxious gas that you don't want. What is this? Well, that's nothing, which is good because it landed directly at my feet. Oh, that's some tear gas. This guy's gonna throw the tear gas. Oh! A protester just returned the tear gas to the police line.
No, it's tear gas. Hold on.
I can't actually tell if this is smoke or tear gas. It's not overly irritating. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, man, it's moved deep. Oh. No, that's tear gas. All right, folks. Police have dispersed tear gas, trying to enforce the curfew. Protesters are crying, hands up, don't shoot. Oh.
Excuse me.
All right, guys, we're gonna get back to the... So again, we're seeing more and more buses moving behind that police line, presumably to transport people who are arrested for violating the curfew. We're a couple minutes past curfew, so we are all technically in violation of the curfew right now, which is why police are firing tear gas and other non-lethal ordnance into the crowd. Moments ago, we saw a lady who seemed to have been struck by something in the face, but it might also just be tear gas. We're not sure on that. Again, for our new viewers, we are just yards away from the burned out 3rd Police Precinct that was torched by rioters last night. Over there is the remainder of a 6-story building that was torched 2 nights ago. Looks like protesters are again progressing forward against the police line in violation of the curfew. That girl is still shot in the face.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
All right, guys. Wow, look at that. Looks like they've constructed a full-on barricade between themselves and the police. Oh, some green smoke. Again, I'm going to try to catch it on the live stream, folks, but protesters are throwing the tear gas back at the police line. We're going to push closer and see what else there is to see. We can hear the helicopters overhead. We can hear the pop of tear gas. It's subsided now, but a while ago we were hearing louder bangs from further behind the police line, presumably on the other side of this area that they're holding. You can see a flare there has landed in the road. So right now, the wind is blowing the chemical adjutants perpendicular to the police line, which means that officers are having a hard time getting the tear gas amongst the crowd. Oh, the wind just switched, actually, and now it's coming right back towards us. We're going to back up because I do not have a mask. Watch this. If we move... Ow, my eyes. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. We were right there by the front, guys. We were right there by the front of the protest, and my eyes hurt a lot now. So we're going to kind of stand here over to the side. Okay, so guys, this tremendous cloud of tear gas has been dispersed, totally barring protesters from progressing further against the police line. Oh, my eyes continue to water, so what I'm going to do here is apply some milk to my face, which neutralizes the chemicals. That's what I look like. All right. That's that. Instant relief, you guys. So we're going to keep covering this story. Oh, it's still on me. I've been trying to show you guys. There we go. Okay. Look at that, guys. A huge cloud of tear gas. Police are over the live speaker threatening to arrest Protesters who continue to defy the... Well, that's concerning, you guys. Do you hear that? A sustained string of bangs from across the way. I don't know what that noise is. Oh, it's a drum. All right.
No peace.
We're going to move back now towards the burned 3rd Precinct building to reconnect with another Alpha News correspondent. Let's have a look at this barrier over here, folks. Looks like protesters have constructed a barricade using materials pillaged from ransacked buildings. Behind me is the police line and the tear gas, and in front of me is an attempted barricade the protesters have erected. So look at this, guys. About 30 minutes ago, this was all area controlled by the police. Now protesters have pushed forward and are occupying the burned out remains of a police station, an auto zone, a liquor store. Last I checked, it was over 135 businesses have been destroyed by protesters. Now I would not be surprised if that number climbs tonight, but it's a surreal scene, you guys. As far as I can see in any direction, every building is destroyed. You can smell the smoke emanating from the smoldering remains, mingling with the tear gas that has been dispersed amongst the protesters. Look at this, you guys. This is a... Presumably, this police jacket was looted from the burned 3rd Precinct building. We're going to leave that there because it is not ours to take. We're going to keep showing you what these protesters are doing. We see a man here. Looks like he's about to enter the burned remains of the police station. Last night, you guys, this station was overrun by protesters and torched. This is never something I thought I would see in my life. A burned out, overrun police station right here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Truly an astonishing sight. That was a firework. Police don't tend to use fireworks, so that was likely ignited by one of the protesters here today. Take a little bit closer look here. I hear sirens now. Please. All right. What's the story behind the suit, sir? Why a suit to a protest?
I'm working.
All right.
I'm old-fashioned. Yeah, I'm working.
I made a fool of myself.
No, that's all right, man. No, you haven't. I work for British newspapers. So
oh, we have a British newspaper writer here covering the scene here in Minneapolis. Be safe, sir. All right, it looks like that lady behind me is trying to ignite something. I'm not sure what, but she didn't look too friendly, so we're just going to keep moving. So, this is Lake Street. 2 nights ago, the scene of protest, and last night, the scene of an overrun police station. It is now again occupied by protesters who have taken ground that was ceded by police. We're well past the 8 o'clock curfew now, as the law enforcement agents have announced several times. Those still here today are in violation of that order and stand to be arrested. Police have already dispersed tear gas in an attempt to enforce that order. But in my opinion, the crowds have actually grown here as individuals find out that this is where the action is occurring. Surprisingly, streets are still open. Look at that. This guy drove his car right up here to the protest. We're hearing more pops as tear gas has continued to be released. You who are screenshotting this live stream and sending us photographs of interesting still photos, thank you very much. That's a huge help to our effort here. Again, those of you that are screenshotting the live stream and sharing photographs, we really do appreciate that to help get this coverage as wide as possible so people can see what's happening here. That Target right across the parking lot was the site of some pretty intense looting over the last 2 nights. At my feet here this is a marking round. I'm fairly certain. The police fire. It's filled with dye that marks especially problematic protesters, as I understand it. This guy's tearing down the stoplight. Alrighty. Protesters show no sign of withdrawing. In fact, it seems they've established something of a base here in the parking lot of Target. And they are not at all deterred by the tear gas that has been dispersed. The wind, again, is running perpendicular to the protest line, which means that the chemical agents are not being swept towards the protesters. I suspect if that changes, this is going to be a very, very different scene here in front of the burned 3rd Precinct. Media is set up on this small grassy knoll just in front of a totally destroyed AutoZone. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, we're standing outside the burned 3rd Precinct where protesters have amassed. As far as the eye can see in either direction, every building has been touched by fire. Right in front of you there is where a 6-story building used to be before it was burned by protesters. There used to be a crane right there. Crowds are growing, and it looks like we're seeing more tear gas dispersed, but again, the wind just isn't carrying it towards the crowds. Hearing some small cracks that could be firecrackers emanating from within the ranks of the protesters. I'm going to keep processing forward towards the police line. It's a lot to take in, ladies and gentlemen, because at any moment this scene could become significantly less stable. If the police decide to push forward, or if the National Guard encircles the crowd somehow, which is a distinct possibility at this time. Got a lot of people coughing. It looks like the breeze is beginning to shift. As you can see, what used to be a wall of adjacent gas has now turned into more of a mist that is drifting in this direction along the east-west line. What's up?
There you are. Good. I'm over on Twitter. Yep,
I'm so sensitive to this shit. Okay, guys, so the breeze has changed again, and we're getting tear gas some more. We're gonna try to move this way, maybe. All right, guys. This should provide a nice side profile view of the action. Here we have police officers. This guy said he's going to try to get hit with a rubber bullet. He's charging the police line. Oh, he threw something at the police. Yeah, I'm not sure what his motive was. Oh, police returned, firing a tear gas grenade at where that guy in the white pants just was, who was literally asking to get hit with a rubber bullet. He said he wanted to get struck by a rubber bullet. It looks like protesters are using this looted Target store as something of a hideout.
Yo, stop recording looters. Quit that shit, bro. Stop recording people. Get the fuck out of here. Stop recording people.
I'm going that way.
Don't point at people. Don't fucking point it at people. Quit that shit.
Some guy behind me just got upset with me for recording looters. I thought they were proud of this behavior. We gotta move again. The wind has shifted again and we're getting more gas in this direction. It's very uncomfortable. All right. Flashbang. We have a flashbang deployed above the crowd. Looks like police may be preparing for something of an offensive. That's kind of cool. That journalist is wearing a bulletproof vest underneath his shirt. So a lot to see here, folks. We have maybe up to, I would say over 1,000. I'm comfortable estimating over 1,000 protesters lined up for several blocks. I'm getting a direct message here. Watch Minneapolis just informed me over Twitter that the police are retreating, and it looks like they're picking up with the tempo of less than lethal ordinance being dispersed into the crowd. So looks like we're seeing an increased potential. That was not a gunshot, that was a firecracker right in front of me. Looks like we're seeing an increased potential for chaos here. We're going to stay with the scene as long as we can, but again, I do not have a gas mask. So if the tear gas gets too intense, I'll have no choice but to retreat. As you can see, the police have totally... Yeah, no, I agree. The police have totally withdrawn now. Their line is gone. And earlier we saw buses moving into the area, presumably to haul away arrested protesters who are in violation of the 8 o'clock curfew. There's another flashbang about 100 yards, 70 yards in front of me. We're seeing more tear gas now coming our way. Again, guys, behind me, maybe 1,000 protesters in front of me. What appears to be no more than 24 cops, but they're withdrawing and increasing the tempo with which they disperse ordnance, which could indicate something of an offensive on the horizon, which could result in the arrest of a whole lot of people, folks. Can you hold this? My battery's 20%. Another Alpha News reporter here applying some milk to her face. I'm going to assist her with that and then get back to broadcasting the... Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. It just hit. Oh.
That got really intense really quick.
Oh, yeah. We just got gassed again pretty hard. It's crazy how that works. At one moment, you're relatively fine, and the next moment, your eyes are on fire. All right. Again, this is how you handle that. You swish milk and apply some to your face. That gentleman's done the same thing. I'm trying to hook up an external battery to my phone here so we can continue broadcasting as long as possible. Hey, can you hold my live stream for a sec?
Yeah, hold on, I'll put this on. Okay, I got it. Oh, they're charging forward! Charging forward! They are moving up!
All right, guys, the protesters are surging forward, taking ground rapidly against the police. The protesters are surging forward, led by a lone motorcyclist. All right, we're walking right into tear gas. Oh, it's painful. God. Okay, we're walking right into a small cloud of tear gas. Once you've been hit with this stuff once, the second dose really irritates the eyes. Look at that, we got police on the overpass. They're not gonna let this go.
No, they aren't.
What?
How many blocks would you say we pushed the police?
We've, well, not us, but the protesters have pushed at least 4 or 5 blocks, maybe half a mile. All right, guys, we're down to 12% battery on this phone. So I'm gonna set up right here and switch out to a different power cell before we continue. Hold this check.
Yeah, it's in my backpack. Where? Just it's near my bag.
My gun is in your bag.
Mine? I really want you to put it in your bag. I'm so sorry.
Can't do it right here.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, one guys.
Another W for the people, man.
Did you move the other thing? We will move up in a second, guys. We're getting battery. Okay, that's your phone. The crowd has moved up significantly quickly, and we will get to the front of the line there in a moment.
Keep holding
We
this.
got people climbing we just got people climbing up on everything. This crowd is massive. I have to say there's at least 1,000 people here now. We started out not even an hour ago with 200, maybe 300. And I could tell some more aggressive people have arrived. Especially, it's changed dramatically here in the last hour. And they are pushing the National Guard west on Lake Street. Okay, I'm going to rejoin with my partner here. We'll get up to the line there. Good? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, you want to put that milk
All
in
right,
someone's...
we've now totally retooled our battery situation. All right, guys. Protesters are pushing very rapidly now. Look at that. We got some guys up on top of the train signal.
You got it. Move it.
You have the milk? You have the milk?
My what?
You have the milk?
Yeah, it's in the bag.
Okay, we got the milk in the bag.
I don't know what caused that surge to us to move like 2 or 3 blocks. And I feel like they're losing control of the situation here.
No, I don't think police are losing control of the situation. I think that they're baiting people into a trap. I think what's going to happen is they're going to roll a train in here and trap everybody. All right, guys, protesters are pushing under the overpass of Hiawatha Avenue. Police have totally withdrawn. Again, guys. They're gonna circle it out. We should get outside this main street. Let's hop over and go up there. So we're gonna get out of the way.
We got millions here now.
No, I think we should stay as far away from the central movement as possible. All right, guys, so protesters are wearing masks now. Got some pretty significant kit as they push forward against the police line. I don't trust this for a second. Oh, no. This is baking soda and water. It's for tear gas. Protesters appear to be mixing something up right here. They're pre-mixing anti-tear gas solution, putting baking soda in water and equipping themselves with earplugs. We got snacks and baking soda and earplugs as protesters gear up for what they seem to expect will be a large confrontation with law enforcement. Small motorcycles.
It's for your eyes, yeah. That makes sense. If they guys are making fun of, I'm like, what the? That'd be fucked. Fuck no, man. That.
Firecracker.
Yeah.
Everyone on every police scanner is saying this is a trap. You see where this street goes across? Let's position ourselves on that street so that we can ditch. All right, guys, this is almost definitely a move by the police to entrap the protesters. So we are going to position ourselves on a street that runs perpendicular to this main push so that in the event of a more severe police action, we can quickly get out of this situation. Yeah. Look at this.
Who's that?
Hold on just 1 second, guys. The feed might go dark for a second. Huh? I might hand over the Facebook Live to you.
What building is this, Kyle?
I don't know. This appears to be some sort of restaurant. Again, you guys, protesters are pushing into an area which was previously occupied by police in violation of the quarantine order.
You want to get to the front? I mean, this is thousands of people now.
Get in the car and zip around to the front.
I don't know which way you want to go. I mean, they're way up there at the front of the line.
Here. Can I run back to your car and grab another battery and then rejoin you? You can take over the Facebook stream.
I can take both of them.
Okay, so let's just switch it to phones. I still need a phone to figure out where you are in a second.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, guys, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to hand over the Facebook stream to fellow reporter here. So stay tuned. We're going to be coming back right live. We're going to explore other angles and see what we can set up for a shot.